100% for the CPS, the police, and the Crime and Police Commissioner. My question is this. It has a run-up. In the run-up to the last two elections, the former Prime Minister David Cameron made immigration an issue. His government also declared that they were going to create a hostile environment in Britain for immigrants, and they proceeded to do that in Parliament by enacting a series of legislation that have a very real and horrific effect on people who are immigrants and also who look like immigrants. And in doing this, not only that, but through the things that they were saying in the press, they were creating the conditions that led to the post-Brexit spike in hate crimes. My question is, what is the position of the CPS, the police, and the Police and Crime Commissioner in instances where the state institutionalizes and normalizes xenophobia?
So far as the CPS is concerned, as a civil servant, I had, like every other civil servant, a message the day after that referendum, which was, this is business as usual. We do what the public want as we're dictated to through Parliament. I certainly wouldn't be in a position to make any comment about what any particular government or government ministers might have said or not said.
I think the position is the same for ourselves. I mean, obviously when we joined, we take an oath to these fairly impartially, so it doesn't matter what colour, race, religion you are, we will treat everybody exactly the same. I've certainly done that throughout my career. I'm pretty sure the majority of my colleagues have as well, so what a government does, that's up to them, but we, police force and police officers, will all try and treat people fairly.
I think the former Shadow Attorney General will give us a very good answer to that.
Well, good evening, and I'm sorry I was late. I was actually giving an award to a police volunteer who's done an absolutely fantastic job for the community over many, many, many years. But it's a very good question, and I have to say, unlike the last two speakers, I can make a comment on it, I think. I think your analysis is basically correct. I think not entirely, but I think basically correct, because I think we have, well, the government's been careless, I think is the word I'd use, over the last number of years in relation to this extremely sensitive and important issue. I think things have been said, I think particular groups have been picked on rather deliberately when it's suited, and the next day something nice is said. But I think there has been an element of raising the stakes slightly. I don't think with the intention of causing hate crime, I have to say, but I think that may have been the consequence from time to time. I don't like having to say this because it's not a particularly pleasant thing to have to say either in a church or anywhere else. But I think there's an element of truth in what you say. And that's extremely worrying, and I think it should be a lesson for politicians on all sides, just to be really careful about how they put their points when they're looking for votes. Can I just say as PCC, I'm delighted to hear the praise that's been placed on by someone who was a victim of hate incident, hate crime, how well the police have done. I've been with the Chief Constable a lot on this issue in the last week and a half. On the last couple of weeks we were on Radio Leicester together, we put out a statement together, we're both signatories, of course, to the Bishop's excellent letter. And as long as I think the Chief Constable's there, and as long as I'm there, hate crime will get the attention that it deserves. But it is a hidden crime. It is a hidden crime. Not enough people complain about hate crime. And I hope that one thing that may come out of this ghastly 3 weeks since Brexit is that people understand why they don't, but they ought to. They really should.